Call the meeting to order. Roll call.
Mayor Reese,
Here.
Councilmember Nelson,
Here.
Councilmember Osk,
Here.
Councilmember Fagerly,
Here.
Councilmember Davis. Here. Councilmember Osmus,
Here.
Councilmember Schultes,
Here.
Councilmember Butterfield,
Here.
and Councilmember O'Brien.
Here.
All present.
All right. Stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
Of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Any proposed additions or deletions to the agenda?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to add item E, requesting staff to look at the feasibility of extending the path or sidewalk from Highway 12 to Civic Center Drive along Lakeland.
Where do you want that, Carl?
It'd be item E. Under regular business.
Regular.
9E.
Oh, 9E.
Yeah,
Okay.
sorry.
I'd like to offer 9F and request Chief Felt to give us an update on the school resource officers locally and what they're doing here now in Willmar with the school board's decision. And I'd offer a motion for an amended agenda. Amended agenda. So 9E and 9F.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that all.
School resource officers.
Oh, yes, okay. All right. We got a motion and a second.
Need a second.
Need a second.
You still need a second.
Rick did.
Rick did.
Oh, sorry.
Roll call.
Councilmember Davis,
Aye.
Councilmember Schultes,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Councilmember Fagerly,
Aye.
Osmus,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
and Osk.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 nays. Motion passes.
All right. Consent items. We're calling our city clerk, Vernay, for the first time.
Thank you. Mr. Mayor and council members, for your consideration and approval this evening, we have the City Council minutes of February 20th, 2024, the Municipal Utilities Commission meetings minutes from February 23rd, 2024, Planning Commission minutes from February 21st, 2024, Planning Commission applicant, accounts payable reports from 2/16 to 2/27/24, enter into an agreement with CNH Sports Surfaces to resurface Sperry pickleball courts, Public Works motor grader purchase, approve plans and specifications, authorize advertisements for bids project number 2304-B, 19th Avenue Trail Project, rescheduling the public hearing to amend Chapter 3 alcoholic beverages. And for your information, tonight we also have the Willmar Municipal Utilities Financial Report from December 2023.
Motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Got a motion And a second. Roll call.
Schultes,
Aye.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Councilmember Fagerly,
Aye.
Councilmember Osmus,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Councilmember Osk,
Aye.
Councilmember Davis.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes, motion passes.
All right. We'll move on to, I assume there's nobody registered on the open forum, okay? We'll go to regular business and request to apply for FEMA assistance, the firefighters grant. Frank?
I'd like to take that, Mayor. So Frank was unexpectedly detained this afternoon, so he's excused from tonight's meeting. He is looking to have and adopt a resolution requesting to apply and accept the FEMA Assistance to Firefighters Grant, the AFG, for replacement of the 2002 fire truck. So this round of grant application just came available, and we would like to apply for it. The 2002 pumper truck is going to be replaced here in the next few years, and this would probably move this, if we get approval for the funding, it would move the fire truck actually up a couple years if we would buy it. But if we got the funding for it, that's the important part, so. So this is just the approval to accept the resolution to move forward to apply for the FEMA fire grant.
All right, we need a motion to approve the application.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
And we got a second. Discussion. Okay, Rick?
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. So how much money is in the pot? And is it for the entire state then, or
Well, it's across the nation.
all nation?
Yeah, this is federal. This is a federal funding, so, so we can request approximately up to $900,000 is what our grant request is going to be.
Okay. So
It can be substantial.
do we have a chance then, do you think?
It all depends on how many others are applying.
Okay.
You know, it's, you never know. I mean, my experience, the past experience, we got up to $150,000, so, for turnout gear. And being a fire truck, I'm sure they probably give you a lot more for that. They know that the expenses are there. And we know that it takes about 1.5 years, 2 years for them to build it, so that's why we need to apply for these when we can and then move forward. Because we do only have a short window to pay for it.
It'd be wonderful to get, so.
Yeah.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Councilmember Nelson,
Aye.
Fagerly,
Aye.
Osmus,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Osk,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Schultes.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes, motion passes.
Thank you. Next is a resolution for a public hearing on the proposed conduit financing for Bethesda Senior Housing Project request. Leslie?
Yes, so this request is, Bethesda is seeking to have tax exempt bonding, and they're going through conduit bonding, it's called, through Prinsburg, DeGraff, and Pennock. So they're looking to have on their bonding strength issue what's called a conduit bond. And because this project is within the city limits here, Willmar has to be a host to this conduit, and the public hearing has to be held here. And so that's why this is coming forward now. Bethesda will be at the public hearing here April 1st, and to explain the process, and there'll be a joint, after this is approved, there's also a joint power agreement that is also put in place because of the special situation where the project is within our corporate limits, but 3 other government entities are providing the conduit funding for it. And this is all part of the process that is allowed under the state statutes.
All right. Call for a motion to approve the resolution and call for a public hearing.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Discussion. Tom?
Willmar won't have any liability on this, will we? Any financial liability on 30 million?
No.
Okay.
And it doesn't affect our bonding abilities. Conduit bonding doesn't affect their bonding abilities either.
Anybody else? Roll call.
Councilmember Osmus,
Aye.
Councilmember Butterfield,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Osk,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Schultes,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
and Fagerly.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes, motion passes.
Thank you. Next is a request for public hearing to rezone a parcel in 4th Ward. Christopher?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Today I'm requesting 2 actions from you. A motion to set a public hearing date for the rezoning of parcel 959238320. That's located at Willmar Avenue Southeast and 7th Street in the 4th Ward. The second one is I'm requesting is a motion to approve the summary of publication found on page 101 in your packet. All documents pertaining to this agenda item, can be found on page 87 through 101 in your packet tonight. So the Department of Planning and Development received a zoning map amendment application from J-Dan Properties, which is the owner, and United Community Action Partnership, or UCAP, which is the buyer, to rezone the parcel from limited business to low-density multifamily, or R3. On Wednesday, February 7th, UCAP Executive Director presented the zoning map amendment proposal at the Planning Commission. The proposal includes building a 4-unit and an 8-unit housing structure on adjacent lots, with a total of 11 units and 1 being used for their office space. UCAP received a $4.4 million grant to provide this type of housing, and they plan to do it as a modular construction using North Star system built. So on page, you can see all the details from 90 to 97, and then on page 90 to 97. On Wednesday, February 21st, UCAP came back to present the zoning map amendment from 1209 7th Street Southeast. The public hearing was open around 7:04 p.m. We did receive a letter of support. It was entered into the record. No other submissions or public comments were received, and the hearing was then closed shortly after the planning commissioners approved it unanimously. I'll stand for any questions you may have.
Any questions?
We need a motion first,
Yeah,
Mr.
we need a
Mayor.
motion to introduce the ordinance and approve the public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Rick?
So that site used to be Kindle Hope. It was a group facility for handicapped and mentally challenged people, so it'd be a good fit to have something there again, I believe, so.
Thank you for that. And the planning commissioners feel the same way with other supportive services around the site as well.
Audrey?
Thank you, Mayor Reese. Just a question, I couldn't tell from the drawings, and maybe I missed it, but are the entrances to these two units going to be off from 7th Street, not Willmar Avenue?
Thanks for that question. Right now, the vehicle circulation is still being mapped out. The Planning Commission only voted to rezone, and that's what the public hearing is for. The design of the building will come back to Planning Commission at a later date. But it is to be taught, they spoke about it at our last Planning Commission to have it on 7th Street and not Willmar. Potentially.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else? Okay, well, roll call.
Councilmember Butterfield,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Osk,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Schultes,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Fagerly,
Aye.
Osmus.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes. The motion passes.
Thank you. Next is
We,
a motion to publish by summary.
So move.
Second.
You got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call.
O'Brien,
Aye.
Osk,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Schultes,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Fagerly,
Aye.
Osmus,
Aye.
and Butterfield.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes. Motion passes.
Thank you. Thank you, Christopher. Next is a state temporary liquor permit with Intuition Brewing LLC. Vernay?
So Intuition Brewing is a small brewer, and they've applied for a limited permit so that they can serve beer at the home show at the Civic Center, April 5th and 6th, and they just need approval for that.
We need a motion to approve the liquor permit.
So move.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Discussion? Tom?
What city is this brewing company out of?
They actually are in the same location that
Foxhole?
the Foxhole just left, so they're right in downtown Wilmer.
Okay, any other? Roll call.
Councilmember Osk,
Aye.
Davis,
Aye.
Schultes,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Fagerly,
Aye.
Osmus,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
and O'Brien.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes. Motion passes.
Thank you. Item E, the pathway, Carl.
So I received a phone call from a constituent who lives in Trentwood Estates, and she pointed out that there is no continuous walking path along Lakeland Drive from Highway 12 to the Tech campus. And it with the apartments going in, with the trailer park there, with the Trentwood Estates, the only place for those people to walk along Lakeland Drive is on Lakeland Drive. And so I'd like to request that we direct staff to look into the feasibility of building a trail, look into possibility of grants, whatever it might take to look into that thought. I'm not sure, there's a sidewalk that goes from Highway 12 to the railroad tracks on the south side, or I'm sorry, on the west side of Lakeland. And then from Trentwood Estates to Civic Center Drive, that would be on the east side. But there's not a continuous trail along the entire length of Lakeland. So I think we should look at trying to get that done. And that would also connect in the trail that goes along Highway 12. There'd be a consistent path all the way to the out to the Civic Center.
Do we need a motion to get that in action?
It would be nice, yeah.
Okay,
So I would make that motion then that we direct staff to look into making that happen, making a trail from Highway 12 to Civic Center Drive.
second. Okay, we've got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Nobody? All right, roll call.
Councilmember Davis,
Aye.
Schultes,
Aye.
Nelson,
Aye.
Fagerly,
Aye.
Osmus,
Aye.
Butterfield,
Aye.
O'Brien,
Aye.
and Osk.
Aye.
8 ayes, 0 noes, motion passes.
Okay, thank you. The last item is item F, and that's the school resource officer. Justin?
Just wondering if Chief Felt can kind of give us an update of what's happening here locally in the school district now and with the police department.
Sure thing. Thank you, Councilmember Osk and the rest of the council. Just a little update here on the school resource officer situation in the local area here. As a quick recap, because of the legislative changes that happened, the school resource officer contract was voted to be opted out, I guess you could say. That took place in December. In the police officers that were in the schools remained there until the middle of January. At that time, because of some of our staffing issues that we had at the time, we modified our staffing. So those school resource officers were no longer full days in the schools. We strategically, since January 16th, we've had them working school days, school hours, spending as much time as possible in the schools, but they've been supplementing our patrol day staff, answering calls for service and that type of thing. But the focus has been on school and school-related calls for service. So if there's a school bus stop arm violation, if there's an incident at the schools, if there's anything suspicious at the schools, vaping, anything like that, those school resource officers go and handle that. So that's the way we've been handling it till now. As I understand it, just a couple hours ago, the House passed a school resource officer bill. I don't know all the specifics of that yet, and it has to go through the state Senate yet. But with any changes that happen with that, our full intent is to reapproach the school. I've spoken with Dr. Holm and the school officials. In the interim here, they have hired some school employees to act as security. My intent is if the school resource officer bill is to our satisfaction, and once our staffing level allows it, to reapproach the school, see if they would like to enter into a school resource contract again, realizing that may be modified on one side or both sides just because of staffing levels and the extra people that they've taken on and that type of thing too. But as of this time, we still have our people in the schools. The school, we like working with the schools. They like when we're there. DARE has continued at the police department expense, and we feel that's an important program too to keep on going no matter what. So.
Justin?
Yeah, thank you. So am I to understand correctly that so the school now has their own staff providing security, but the police department still has officers in the school, so two times what they were seeing in the past? Obviously, there's differences between your officers and private security company, but
Correct. Speaking with the schools, I don't know the full authority that the schools have given those people. And I know they just came on board within the last couple of weeks. A couple of them are retired police officers that happen to be working at the school in a different capacity, and they were put in a security role. So they, from my understanding, they don't carry any restraints or weapons or anything like that, but they're now tasked with going around making sure doors are locked and secured, which is something that our officers did before, intervening if there's any tempers that flare in the hallway or trying to de-escalate and that type of thing, just like our officers were there for too. So it's kind of, it is helpful. Our officers that are in the school said it's a good thing that they did that too.
Carl?
So Chief Felt, you said that if this agreement is satisfactory and given staffing, we're still short 6 officers?
Correct.
Is that going to be an issue?
For the moment, it is, yes. Right now, I'm cautiously optimistic. We've got a couple people that are in the process right now of being, their psychological and physical testing and that type of thing for police officers. Once they get hired, it still takes a while to get them trained in, up and running. Usually that's a 4-month process unless they come with some prior experience. We've also got some applications from some summer law enforcement students that are going to be finishing up the course this summer that hopefully we can maybe draw from there too. So my hope is maybe by the time school starts in the fall that we can come to some agreement or work something out.
I hope so.
I hope so too.
Julie?
Yes. Are you calling on me?
Yeah, didn't you raise your hand?
Yes. I know there were some retired police officers in the senior high. How many of the schools have these employees that are doing security? Is it just the senior high or is there other schools?
From my understanding from speaking with Dr. Holm is that they have 4 people that are employed right now. 2 that are mainly assigned to the high school, 1 to the middle school, and 1 to the ALC. And all 4 are current or prior police officers, not with the Willmar Police Department, or the current one is not with Willmar Police Department.
Okay, Audrey?
Thank you, Mayor Reese. I was asking the same question. The media had posted a photo, and it was my understanding that we had some current officers that were going to be security officers, and I just wanted to clarify if that was the case, how that was working, and or with their other hours.
Oh, correct. I saw that photo also. That was an older photo, and 3 of those school resource officers in that photo are no longer with the Willmar Police Department. 2 of them are now retired from the police department and working for the school, so they're not connected with Willmar PD anymore. So the picture was a little bit misleading that way.
I have a question.
Can I ask another question,
Yeah,
please?
go ahead.
I just have been observing, I drive down Willmar Avenue on a regular basis, and there's always a police car there in the morning, and I'm just wondering how we can continue to do that when we don't have a contract. It was my understanding, I thought we were just going to be on call. And so just a concern with that, and also a request that the city council be included in kind of the plan for the SROs in the future, if that's to come back. And to be able to work through where we're at with the police department, how many officers are we short, versus reading about it in the media. And I think trying to help make a decision to strengthen the police department also. But I really would appreciate, I know we asked for that once more and didn't really hear back from it. I just would request that the council be allowed to participate and contribute and make a decision along with the police department.
Yeah, absolutely. As far as the, if I understand your question right about police car being, I'm assuming at the middle school on Willmar Avenue in the mornings, that we've listed as priorities with our school resource officers and with dispatch, that dispatch is to try and leave our school resource officers alone in the morning, in the afternoon, during school arrival times, school dismissal times, so that they can prioritize to be at the school, be visible, both for traffic flow and for children arriving and leaving for their safety. So that may account for a lot of the time there that is listed as a priority for them. And absolutely, I will certainly keep the council informed as to what goes on with the police department and the SROs.
Mike?
Can I ask one more question?
Go ahead.
Are you talking to me,
Yes,
Mayor
go
Reed?
ahead, Audrey.
Okay. Thank you. So just a further clarification. So we do not have a contract. We do not have SROs right now, correct? So the SROs were reassigned to be police officers. So when you were referring to the SRO being in front of the school building, I'm confused.
It does get confusing. I probably worded it in a poor way, sorry. Those officers they were the assigned SROs, and those same officers, we kept them assigned to those core duties of school resource officers, but also expanded it. Before, they used to be stationed at the school for the full school day, not subject to call unless there was a drastic emergency, and we altered that to make them available for regular calls for service, but the priority to be at the schools there. So it'd be similar to taking a patrol officer and maybe assigning them if we had a business in town that needed extra patrol, was having some problems, whether it be traffic or disruptions or something like that, assigning them to that area. So kind of a reassignment, I guess you could say.
Okay, Mike?
Sure.
Yes, I'm sure.
As you know, right now it's very difficult to find good quality students out there that are willing to take the jump, so to speak, right? Are we competitive? I mean, we're looking at this community being 6 short. I know what the graduation is in Alexandria right now. We have to be competitive to get to fill these 6. Extremely important. Are we competitive? I don't want to put you on the spot.
I feel on the spot, but Willmar certainly has a lot of advantages that some other departments do not have, and we've tried to capitalize and make those things known. There are some areas that I feel there are maybe make us a little less marketable at this time, and I've relayed those to city administration for their consideration. So a lot of those involve contracts and that type of thing. So I think, in my opinion, there's some improvements that could be made that would probably make us more marketable.
Okay. One more question. I know the high school has a very, very good camera system in it and a very good area to observe from the camera system. Is there anybody now that observes from that system?
Because of the change in the contract, since the school resource officers are no longer agents of the school, those school resource officers don't have direct access to those cameras, but now the new security, as I understand, the new security people that they hired do, and the principals and some of the other school staff have always had access to that too. So it's just a different route for our officers to get video of things that may have happened, or somebody else is directly observing during the day instead of our SROs.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Is that it? All right, thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to go into closed session. And I need a motion, legal basis for the closing of the meeting. This portion of the regular meeting of the city council will be closed pursuant to Minnesota statute section 13D.05 subdivision 3C. The following real property will be discussed separately in the closed session: parcel 95-872-1160. I need a motion to close the meeting.
So moved.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. Closed session.